I do think Monty Williams being here takes Ivey's trade stock even more if it's not done before the season because he's just not going to utilize him correctly.
Yeah.
So you're going to get less of a return for Jaden Ivey, which I heard some talk about if you can get Reed Shepherd at 5 and then move Ivey and some other pieces. I wouldn't mind that at all. I would actually really like that.
Okay.
Or Jalen Williams' little brother. I can't remember his name. What's
Cody from Colorado.
41% three-point shooter. And you bring him in if you're not moving the 5. If you're not moving the 5th pick in the NBA draft, you need to get somebody who shoots over 37% from 3 in college. Unequivocally. You need that.
I don't love that Reed Shepherd got locked up by OU in that game. I can't get that out of my mind. I know people have bad games all the time. That pisses me off. But this thing about keeping Monty is where are the standards, boys? 28 straight games.
By the number.
Is the worst of all time consecutive losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the standard in this city? You cannot allow this guy to come back, and he is clearly coming back for another season. I don't want to go through this again, boys. We went through it last year. It was the worst season of basketball ever in this city, and we just don't deserve it again. Write the check, Tom. You're a billionaire. Just do it. Get him out of here. Bring in a whole new system. Monty's not it. He is way too preoccupied with actual life things going on that aren't in basketball.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. It should not be and I understand you get outraged about what it should be compared to what it is. Just like Illich, it's the same situation here. There is no reason for Monty Williams to still be the head coach of this team other than the amount of money you paid him. Just like I said, the day after the season ended, fire everybody and restart. And that's what you should do when you have the worst season in the history of the franchise, when you have the worst team in the NBA. Again, nobody deserves to have their job still, but Goris paid him a lot to be here, and he's going to give him another crack at it.
On the Ivy topic, do you think he's holding him back, or it's a mixture of the fit?
I think it's both.
Monty,
I think it's both. Ivy could still perform to a certain level, even with the fit, but Monty wasn't allowing him to do that, and getting his season started the way it did not do him any favors.
No, it couldn't have helped his confidence at all.
Yeah,
I get the thought process of it, but the performance piece wasn't for it to be that long of an experiment when it comes to Killian Hayes starting over Jaden Ivey at that point. Obviously, when you saw the upside in Ivy, it was without Cade on the floor in his rookie season. And then Cade hits the floor, and you see a little bit of a regression in what you thought he was going to be. It's just a pairing thing for me, and I'm kind of with you. I think he should have higher trade value because he does have some of those things you can't teach, the speed. He does work hard. He's passionate about the game.
For sure.
But it's taking such a tank, man. His value, I guess, in return, if you were to trade him. It's do you want to hang on and wait for him to show something, or you want to?
I think you got to trade him. I do. Yeah, I think you got to trade him now because you could get a guy in the top 5. If you're not trading the top 5 pick, you got to trade Ivy because you can get a guy in the top 5 to put next to Cade who would be a better fit. And that's flat out, I don't think you can go through another season of them two sharing the backcourt.
Better fit, but does he have a ceiling as high as Jaden Ivey's?
I'm not worried about ceiling.
That maybe we haven't seen yet because he's still only 22.
And his ceiling is never going to be what it should be on the team next to Cade. The way he achieves his full ceiling if he's the guy. And he will never be the guy as long as Cade Cunningham's on this team.
I'm with you on that one. We saw Sheed give Cade Cunningham props. Big point guards are problems.
Cade's a dog right now. Cade's a dog.
Yeah, he is.
I still think Ivy has a hell of a lot of potential in this league. I really do, fellas. I understand your guys' concerns about the fit. I mean, when you lose 28 straight, obviously it is not working.
And it sucks because I love Ivy as a kid, what he brings, how he goes about his business.
Yeah.
He does have some elite talents with his athleticism and his speed and his first step. But to be a shooting guard in the offense, you need to shoot and defend.
Yeah.
To be a good piece next to the type of basketball player that Cade Cunningham is, you need to be able to shoot at a high level and defend at a high level. And he can do neither of which.
Do you think he can get better at the defensive side of the ball? Because I think he has the athleticism to get there, but maybe it's just like team awareness, like maybe, you know, recovering on different things.
Yeah,
That's a great question.
Defense is 90% hustle. Like it's mental, it's rotation wise, and it's hustle. And he's definitely got the lateral quickness and the physical ability to be a good defender, but we didn't see he looked bad out there, man. Really bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect him to, you know, like I said, be prime Gary Payton, but at least stay in front of a guy. You can move your feet quick enough to stay in front of guys.
Yeah, he definitely has the athleticism. Chris, where are you at with this pairing? Is it for sure have to move on before this year?
When it comes to Ivey and Cade, yeah. Do you hope this shooting coach can like improve Ivey's percentage enough and Ivey can, you know, put enough effort into defense? Those are two big things to ask. You know, especially in the short term, immediate term, when this is a franchise that can't really afford to wait for ceilings. They have to play right now because they are coming off the worst season in franchise history, the most embarrassing season in franchise history. So they have to make major progress. And, you know, that goes against a lot of what this team has been building for years, because this team thought they were building, you know, making a slow build and everything was going to come together. But now they don't have that luxury anymore. When you have the horrific season that you had last year and you set NBA records and not good ones, you need to make changes immediately. So if you were patient, maybe Ivey could be playable next to Cade. Maybe Ivey can be like a supercharged six man. I know we tried that last year and it didn't work, but maybe if you have a better starting guard other than Killian Hayes, then maybe Ivey is a supercharged six man where he's running the second unit, playing with Cade a little bit, but also having his own time. Maybe that works for the Pistons this season. That's the blueprint for Ivey's success this season.
Bro, that's the way. I like it. I mean,
this is the way.
I said this kind of same thing about the Luka and Kyrie situation. However,
Kyrie, come off the bench.
They're just not the fit. But they're so individually great, and they finally learned to take turns fucking murdering people that it worked out. Mm-hmm. Now they're playing a team that's long and they play defense as well. It's obviously not working. They almost got swept. But can you see Ivey reaching that individual, right? And it's not even a knock on him, but Kyrie is
Kyrie and
fucking
Luka are at different levels.
Generational. Yeah. Possibly the best finisher all time. I mean, is it crazy to say that? I mean, the shit that he does.
He has the best handles in the history of the NBA, and he's the best finisher around the rim in the history of the NBA.
So to say like you can't parallel Cade and Ivey to Kyrie and Luka, because Kyrie and Luka are so individually great, it's kind of fucking insane to. Like maybe Cade probably comes the closest in those comps to a Luka or Jason Tatum with dribbling, but that's it.
But
no. But if he comes off the bench, I can see it working because you're forcing that take turn situation.
But see, here's the thing that's going to upset a lot of Pistons fans, but it's the truth and the honest truth coming into this season. Should you want Jaden Ivey to be Jordan Clarkson? Like that's what really,
I'm cool with that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good thing, because think about who Clarkson was in Utah. He played next to Donovan Mitchell, a ball dominant player, but they staggered the minutes to where he had his time. I know everybody wants to look at Jaden Ivey's ceiling of Ja Morant, and while we've all said he has the ceiling of that Westbrook, the Ja Morant, maybe it's not going to be here in Detroit. And so you got to look at him as like a Jordan Clarkson type of player. If he can buy into that, if the organization can buy into that, can supplement pieces that work around that, then yeah, he could be a very good sixth man. Remember, he loves this city. He really wants to make it work here. And I don't think he wants to be a sixth man, but maybe if you sell him on this is the long-term plan, we can build the right pieces around, and you can be a very important part of something awesome in Detroit. I think Ivey would actually want that, and I think Pistons fans will be upset with the Jordan Clarkson comp, but you know what? Jordan Clarkson's a damn good player.
I was going to say, is it crazy for me to want Jaden Ivey to be Lou Williams?
No.
Like that, I feel like that would be the best version, well, not the best version of Jaden Ivey, but the most realistic best version of Jaden Ivey is a guy that would lead that second unit and come off the bench and just, it's your show, kid. Here's the ball. Go crazy. Yeah. I wouldn't hate that, because the fit of him and Cade Cunningham is not great.
I always saw a De'Aaron Fox type ceiling with the way he has that burst. And
De'Aaron Fox
playmaking,
is like
but,
6'4", though, isn't he?
He plays defense too.
Yeah, he plays defense, which
He
that's
gets
the
steals.
reason why I asked the defensive potential of Ivy. Like, can he fill into that role? And maybe it's just the young players, like we talked about with Duran, and maybe that's why they lost 28 games straight, because none of these guys played any defense whatsoever as well. So I think we have to focus on defense and shooting. Can Ivy turn into that guy? I don't know. But I guess that's what this coaching staff has to figure out, if he can defend and shoot the three, which he hasn't been able to do great in his career so far.
WeezyD313 says, quote unquote, trade KCP, trade Bruce Brown. That, I mean, I don't know if you're saying like us saying trade Ivy is like that. It's completely different, because those guys would be a perfect fit on this team and a perfect fit for every team that they need. If we could trade Ivy for a couple of those guys and a pick, I would love that.
Yeah. I think you just get more out of the trade at this point when it comes to Ivy, because he's just not as effective as he can be on this team right now. At least not in the starting lineup. That's my opinion. I feel like it feels like all of our opinion at this point. I'm glad you guys are finally aboard with that one. But Bruce Brown, KCP, different players as well. And we're also self-admitting that Ivy would be better off on a different team.
Yeah. Benjamin Foe says Ivy's ball handle is nowhere near Fox. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Fox,
He's got ceiling.
He's got the same.
Ceiling.
He's got the same speed. He's got the same speed for sure, but he seems more in control while he's going that speed, and he's a better finisher around the rim than Jaden Ivey is.
Ivy's kind of sporadic,
but that's what you would
want his ceiling to be.
His ceiling, his
saying.
best ceiling, would be a De'Aaron Fox. I don't.
And for him to grow too, I feel like he needs to run like that, like the run like as the guy. You know what I'm saying?
And like that's why De'Aaron Fox is like that now, is because
it took a minute.
Yeah. And they had to get rid of a guy like Tyrese Halliburton.
That's
because they didn't fit well together.
Bingo. That's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Both those guys individually great.
Yeah.
They play on the same team. It was kind of leaning like they were doing a little something, but never enough. Yeah. They finally made the trade. Everyone called them stupid, called the Kings dumb for letting go of Halliburton, which, I mean, they maybe probably were. I don't know who. I'd take Halliburton over Fox.
Yeah, just because of the long-term
to start a
ceiling,
team, yes.
Yeah.
That's a pretty comparable.
But either way,
backcourt is Halliburton and Fox to Cade and Ivy.
Yes, but they made the trade.
Yeah,
they got this exactly what you want. A stretch.
It was a win-win,
and it worked out.
WeezyD313 said, "Oh, it took a minute. They had to give him the reins. So if you want to give Ivy the reins, that's on you. I'm more comfortable giving him to Cade Cunningham."
Yeah, exactly. And I think just to kind of like quickly circle back and wrap everything up here, like this bringing Monty back, I think this is the start of a sign that you're seeing. My gut feeling with this front office and this new regime is that this is going to be another, and I hate to say it, but this is going to be another trial year. They're going to try to get players in free agency. They're going to try to make trades, but I think you're going to see almost all of the young guys back. You're going to see Monty back. And I think Trey wants to have 1 year of evaluating these prospects before making the decision on is Ivy not going to work as a sixth man? Can Asar and Duran play together? You know, like all of these things is what's Duran's actual ceiling as a defender? Like those type of questions that we all have. I'm starting to lean towards my gut feeling telling me that they're going to bring back most of the young guys.